So I decided I'm just going to put some makeup on. I don't know how this is going to work because I can't really see over here, but I'm going to try it anyway. And um, maybe once I put some makeup on, maybe somebody will call me back. Ooh, I probably shouldn't do that. Maybe someone will call me back and then I can go. By the time I put my makeup on, it'll be time to go somewhere. I want to kind of put this up, but I don't want to put like clamp my curls. So just trying to see if my friends text me back on the group chat. They're in like Detroit or Washington or Florida, or I can barely keep up with my friends from Michigan State. They move everywhere. You don't know where they are half the time. So I'm gonna put on a full face of makeup. I got these new makeup brushes, but this girl sold them to me. I was standing outside the mall one day and she was like, "Oh, do you want some makeup brushes?" And I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "Oh, these usually sell for $100, but I'll give them to you for $32." And then I was like, "Oh, okay, bet. I'll take them." And then she ended up selling them to me for $22, but they're not that great. So I just used my little broke brushes. Um, oh, I gotta get my primer and my moisturizer. Give me 1 second. Don't go anywhere. Okay. So I don't have a lot of I hope you didn't see that. There's something inappropriate over there in my sewing machine. I don't have a lot of makeup right now because I decided that instead of buying more makeup this month, I was going to pay my rent. And that was a challenge. So I waited till it was like really late to pay my rent because I was not wanting to pay my rent this month. I don't know. I never really had that problem, but this month it just felt like it was so unfair. Like, why do I have to pay rent when I need more foundation and I want to go back to yoga and it costs $80 a month and I can't afford that because I have kids and have a lot of bills. So I decided to pay my rent late so I looked like I just had a lot of money in my checking account. So then I took it too far and then I started spending some of the money. So that was strange. I had to take some money out of my savings this month to pay my rent. I would never do that normally, but I don't know what it is. Like September, I don't know. I always feel like, I don't know, life shouldn't be so hard. I'm not going to use my real foundation because this is not a good time to do that. Because I actually do not need to be playing around with makeup that costs my money when I don't have a lot of money. So let's see what I could do with this one. I don't know. You got to do what you got to do, okay? And of course, I have to go to church tomorrow. I don't really wear makeup to church on the days that I do the nursery. So this is not really how I do my makeup, but I want to get it all on there because I'm using my struggle makeup. So I want to make sure I have enough on my face before I get it all in there. And the lighting's not good in here, of course. Like I talked to you before, I told you that before. Somebody told me today not to get crazy with the makeup today. I don't know what that meant, but that's what they said. Oh, I left my stuff in my purse. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. I'll be a return. Oh, this is the necklace I would have wore if I went out when I went out today. I have poor hand-eye coordination, so I probably would have wore it wrong, but you wouldn't really be able to tell because I would like push it back. But I can't make it look all the way it looked at the store because I kept trying to twist it and wind it and it wouldn't work. So that was weird. Hold on 1 second. Where's my lipstick? Oh my God. It looks like my lipstick is missing, but I'm just going to think that that's a passing fancy because that cannot be the case. I don't know where my lipstick and my lip liner is at. Strange. It has to be in here. I'm not going to make a big deal about it. I'm not going to let that ruin my day. Can you see that? Because I can't see. I'm just doing anything right now, hoping that it works out. This is all the foundation that's going to get in my hair if I don't act right. So if I don't do the right thing. So I have to be very careful about that. You ever watch that one part of Edward Scissorhands where they put the makeup on? That's like my favorite part. Even though it's kind of weird, I like it a lot. Because it's like, it almost puts you in a trance a little bit. Edward Scissorhands, my favorite movie. And then she was selling Mary Kay, and then next thing you know, everybody was selling Mary Kay. My face looks extremely light, but it doesn't always work out like that. It actually will go back to like a more natural color in a minute. Oh, oh. I just kind of beat my face up with my brush. And my nose always sweat. People say mean people nose sweat, but I think that's kind of true, actually. I can't lie. Is that good? No, because I learned how to do my makeup on YouTube. So I'm not a makeup professional. I just beat it up till it gets all over my face. Is it on my nose? Sorry. Oh, there's my brush right there. Because if I didn't find my makeup, I was going to cry. Let me check my phone again. Nope, nothing. I wonder, do people ever feel like they're addicted to their phone? Because I check my phone a lot, but I know it's nobody on there. It's so weird. I feel like my makeup is not even, but I don't care. So don't say that. I did get this brush in that little set that's supposed to be like good for your nose, but I never put that on my nose there, so I'm not really sure why I would ever do that because I never did it before, but I just did it right now, so maybe it makes me look really cool. And let me see what else I got. That's not the brush. That's not it. Oh, here we go. I always try to put blush on my face, but I never really know if I'm doing it right. Some people say you're supposed to like smile and do it, but I don't like making facial expressions that I feel make me look dumb, so I don't smile the whole way. I just say cheese, just a little bit. Cheese. Do I look dumb? I don't think so. I think I look pretty smart. I just checked my phone again. Why do I keep checking my phone? Nobody's gonna call me. Then I have this, but I'm running out of my favorite ones on here. If you can see, it's only really two of them that I like. So it's so lame. I should stop saying stuff is lame. This is not gonna work because of course I can't even see. I don't know how to do eye makeup, so I just put it on anywhere and then hope that it work out. That's my strategy. Just put it anywhere. Who cares? What are they gonna say? Nobody's gonna say, "Hey, she doesn't know how to do her eye makeup because she's not a MUA MUA makeup artist." I'm not. I'm just a normal human being. Except I'm a little abnormal as well. Look at that. I use the same brush for that. Some people probably wouldn't even do that. They probably would have like a top brush and a bottom brush and call it something fantabulous, but nope, not me. I just use the same brush. Sometimes I switch my brushes up so I can feel professional, but I don't really know what goes with what. Boom. Dang, I forgot what color I should choose. I don't know. Let's just try this. You can't see because this thing looks black and white. Look at that. I just messed my eye up. Oh, God. Black eye. No, it's okay. Let's make this one look a little bit more black eye-ish. Boom. There you go. Perfection. Hold on. Oh, yeah. I like it. That's probably my whole makeup routine except my eyeliner. I'm kind of scared to even do that in public because I don't really do good with it, but let's just give it a try. I just use e.l.f. for my eyes, but somebody told me not to use it because of what they put in it, but it's only $3, so I mean, what can you do? This is going to be very difficult. Actually, it's not going to be very difficult. It's going to be very messy because I never do my eye part right all the way. See that part sticking out? That can cause a lot of problems. But who cares? Look at that. I just made myself get another black eye, but even worse this time. But look, only you and I gonna know. You can't even see it. Perfect. Perfect. And I got it on my fingers, which I do that regularly too. But what else? On my fingers again. I still have my contacts in, but they're getting dry, so gonna have a hard time getting those out. Hope it doesn't crack. That's the best I could do with that kind of eye makeup. So who cares? I'm not going anywhere anyway because everybody's too busy for me. And then I was watching this one movie that was from Africa. I think it was called um, Road to Yesterday or something like that. And I watched that movie. This is not for the bottom of your eye, for the record. I just bought this and then I use it for the bottom of my eye because the one for the bottom of my eye, when people burn it, it doesn't work. But anyway, I was watching this movie called Road to Yesterday. It was like this movie from these people in Africa. And it was like so nice. Like it was a beautiful, nice movie and a beautiful, nice atmosphere. So after that, I decided um, the lady in the movie, I should say, actually wore eyeliner on her bottom eye, and I never did that. But after the movie, it looked so cool on her that I started to put it on mine. But I hated that movie because at the end, one of the main characters died when you thought that their relationship was going to work out and it was going to be so great, and it didn't happen that way. So it really pissed me off. So I would not, excuse me, recommend that movie because it's dumb. Okay, Well, I would still give it some stars. I just wouldn't give it a lot of stars because it was a beautiful movie. It was like a beautiful atmosphere. The Everything was cool except the end. And that just really put me in a bad mood for like 2 days, which is why I rarely watch TV anyway. But oh, I was just telling one of my friends yesterday on my dummy mission the movies that he should watch off of Netflix, which I don't know if he's gonna watch them, but um, what was it? The Get Down. That was amazing. That was really, really good. It talked about I mean, it was kind of set back in like the 80s, like when the rap started to take hold with, I don't know, did they say Funk Master Flash? I don't know. I don't really know any rappers' names because except Gucci Man, but that was pretty good. And then oh god, I just almost stabbed myself in the eye. Um I like to Get Down. That was like super, super good. It kind of put you right back in that time period, and it was an inspirational story, and it kind of helped give you like your culture, like it gave the culture of African Americans and Latina Americans, and kind of gave you back that richness of your culture so that you could be proud of. So you have something to be proud of. So I like that. Also, the Black Power mixtape was really good. I always tell people about that one too. That was a. This is the way I think I'm supposed to explain it. It was some footage that was taken by Swedish journalists. They came to America and did what was to be a documentary on the experience, African American experience, and some of the oppression and discrimination and systematic oppression that African Americans were going through, but they kind of compiled all of that and then showed it and put it together as a documentary. And I think Talib Kweli, Questlove, Erica Badu, Angela Davis, all of them kind of narrate the movie. It was so good because it kind of put you in a particular place as we transitioned from like the Malcolm X, MLK, and then Stokely Carmichael was in that movie. That was it was pretty good. It's pretty awesome to see him at his age and just give you something like to look at and say, wow, those were really some amazing people, really some, good forerunners for African Americans and something that we can be inspired by as we all kind of take on whatever our platforms or political opinions right now. It's good to have like some of that background because if you don't know your past, you don't know your future. That applies to dating too. If you don't find out what your issues are, then you're going to be single for a very long time. And some people should be single, but I digress again. Um, I hate that I can't show you the color in my face. It just looks like lighter face. That's not right. But what else? What other movie? Oh, The Mask We Live In. That was amazing. And I am not a man hater. I really love men. I love my father, my brothers. I've had some pretty successful relationships up until they were unsuccessful, okay? And I love my sons. So people try to say I'm a male basher, but I'm really not. I love men. I have a lot of friends. Well, no, I have a couple of male friends, not a lot. So I can't say like how people say, oh, I have a lot of black friends. I don't have a lot of male friends because I barely have like, I'm not rigid. I'm not rigid. I really love people, but I just don't understand men. Like, oh, their brain is different. That's not fair. Or is it? It's kind of fair, but it's kind of ridiculous also. So, The Mask We Lives In tells about how society creates this idea of what masculinity is and how the children go in to mimic that portrayal or that reflection of what it's supposed to be like instead of men actually getting the opportunity to express themselves through their emotions, through communication, where they feel confident that even if they're seen as vulnerable, they're not shunned, I guess, or they're not, where you can cry and you can like show fear, or you can show that you're in a situation where you're feeling insecure, and you're not necessarily going to be, judged or criticized or made to be felt to be less manly because of that. And I thought it was a really good film because what I found in my experiences, in my analysis of men, which if it means anything, which it probably doesn't, um, a lot of guys seem like um, they're projecting what they think it should be to be a man instead of actually expressing and sharing who they are as an individual and intimately. Now, could that just be the guys that I usually talk to? Yes, of course, because I keep seeing those memes that say you're attracted to the energy that you put out, or the person you're attracted to dictates who you are as a person, which I don't even know if that's true, because a meme is not necessarily like a real reflection or analysis of self. It's just social media, but I don't know. So, but when you watch it, it kind of goes into like sports, um, the whole gang mentality type of stuff, your attitude, what a man would be less likely to say if he felt like it would make him lose respect, because that is one of the primary things that men look for is respect. Now, have I been disrespectful to men sometimes? Probably. I hope that I've moved past that, but I have always felt like, as a woman, if you're going to attack a man or tear down a man, it has a lot more to do with your insecurity and your fear than it does that person. But because we have so many men who are struggling with their identity, it makes it easy for that to stick, or some of those words or those attacks to stick, because they absorb those things and they absorb that criticism because they don't have a firm foundation sometimes, and that makes it very difficult. So, and I don't want to come off as being attacking men, because of course when men attack women, it really irritates me, or try to say like all women are like this or all women like that. Because what I found for relationships, in all honesty, is when you find the person that you would do X for and be patient with and keep choosing that person, that's when you find success. But you usually can pick up in a dating situation if you don't really like somebody or you're not feeling them, or you can pretend like you like people, but they can usually, they can pretty much fill that out. So what you get is a lot of people who make like compromises or like bartering for relationships instead of having real intimacy in relationships. And that's a little bit difficult, because you hear people say, well, I loved you, I was so in love with you. And I don't hear people say that to me, but I've heard people say that about other people, where they were so in love and things didn't work out, and they were so shocked when things didn't work out, and they can't believe that the relationship ended the way that it did. And sometimes that's true, and sometimes there's telltale signs to let you know when your relationship is in trouble. But a relationship is two people working together towards a common goal. Hopefully that goal is Christ-mindedness, okay? But for some people it could be something else. But whenever you decide that you're working as an independent agent, that pretty much is a detailing that the relationship is over. So why do I have problems in relationships? I don't know. I've heard all types of things. I've heard people say, "Oh, well, you're intimidating. You might intimidate guys." Or, you know, maybe you're smart. Sometimes it could be that I talk too much too, because I'll talk somebody to death. I will talk people to death about politics, race, um, Beyonce, I mean, school, education, whatever. I'll do that a lot. So a lot of people don't have the same mind that I have. I read a lot of books, so I got a lot of like useless information up here. Thank God for the Bible now. That's what's been my concentration. But I really just want to be with the right person. And I want to be with somebody who is comfortable with their self, comfortable with who they are and who they are not trying to be somebody who they're not, and comfortable giving, what their insecurities are and talking about their vulnerabilities and being vulnerable with me so that I don't have to consistently meet with somebody's representative all the time or get through off guard the first time somebody feels insecure, which, we live in America. Stuff happens, but where did I put the thing? I just don't want to be beat up by somebody's insecurities, and I don't want mine to take over because somebody chooses not to be, the person that would be the best person for a relationship, I should say, but maybe that's not even appropriate. You just don't know. You just never know. You just have to keep trying and keep choosing that person and keep doing the right thing and keep making sacrifices and compromises. And compromising is hard. I mean, that really is hard because you want something for yourself, but then you have to realize, like, it's not about you. It's not always about you. You have to know that relationships are about compromise, especially if you have kids. It's like you can't be the person to say, oh, well, I love my kids, but I also like to, I don't know, do something inappropriate. So, or do something that doesn't kind of feed that. Like, my arms are fat. Look at that. Ugh. Wait till I lose some weight. It's going to be crazy. But a lot of people just feel like they want to steal something for themselves or they make a sacrifice and they're going to go and fill that up with something else. And then you end up taking too much time or taking away from your family. So I think I could have did a better job with my makeup if I did it in the mirror, but this is pretty much what I do. So uh, I don't know. I still feel like it's too much like light up there, but anyway, back to relationships. One day the right guy will come along, but I have to be ready. I'm really not ready because I'm still picking people apart and trying to figure why I don't like them. And when I do start dating, I try to date multiple people because they say that that's safe, but it's hard to kind of like really gauge, what people's intentions are. And then if I get any hint, I mean, seriously, I'm from the west side of Detroit. I probably said it 1,000 times. I need to know friend or foe. So when people start acting weird, I immediately go into like self-preservation mode, and then I could be extremely offensive to people sometimes with, just trying to protect myself. I know that about myself because I was celibate and not dating for over a year, and I had some time to really figure out what was going on with me. But when I express these things to people, it doesn't come as like, oh, she really knows herself. Let me share who I am. It's like, oh, she really knows herself. Let me pretend like I know who I am. And then you find out that, you know, the last guy that I dated last week, this guy, he had been married a couple of times. He seemed like a really nice guy. He had a really nice job and really had it going on with himself, but there was something missing. I think he still was like not really over his ex. And then, God, I started looking like maybe they should be together. Maybe you guys should work it out because, God, don't give up so easily. And then I was thinking, like, what does that say about you? I mean, what are you going to do? You still going to be single, trying to encourage somebody to get back with their ex? So that was weird. And then also, I don't know. I started to realize that I have a couple of bad habits that I like to jump into stuff even when I know it's not going to work out so that I can give myself a chance to say, oh, I knew this wasn't going to work. And that's a waste of time and extremely ignorant. So one thing led to another. And that's somebody I'll probably never talk to again. Even though I respect the person, I don't think that in knowing somebody for a small amount of time, like after you get to that one, that one falling out or that one confrontation, which I will confront people. And that is another issue that I have because sometimes I have this whole storyline in my head. And when it plays out, it's not necessarily true, nor is it appropriate for me to suggest that I have like inside knowledge about people's psyche and mental and all of that stuff when I really don't. A lot of times I'm right though. But I read this book that it said that if you're right over 50% of the time, you get this idea that you're always right. So you will continue to project your opinions on people more so when it's even when the average person or well the smart people actually are only right like um 50% of the time only too. But anyway, so I kind of told this guy about himself and what I had thought about him, and then that kind of put him off. So whatever. And then I really liked this one guy that I dated last year, but we hung out recently, but I don't think he was wanting to be in a relationship with me, so that didn't work out. I don't think he was wanting to be in a relationship with anybody. But then I recently found out he is in a relationship, which I thought was extremely weird. That was like the second time that happened to me. Like somebody that I thought was not relationship material ended up in relationships. It's so weird, but who am I to judge? And am I really judging? But also, people are different with different people. So the vibe and the energy that I put off sometimes, especially with people that I think is playing games with me, I might give like a certain vibe that makes it seem like I'm not ready for relationships either. So I don't know. It's not dumb. I would put on my white shirt so you could see it, but that would be doing the very most. I'm very happy we had this time together, but it's getting to be too much time, and it takes like 1,000 years for these things to download. I hope I don't get this makeup all on my hair, but one day I'm gonna wear this wig, and it's gonna look really nice, and I'm gonna look very beautiful with it on, and I'm gonna go out and have fun with friends, and maybe a glass of wine. I'm gonna laugh like this is so amazing, but it won't be tonight because tonight I'll be at home listening to my kids watch NCIS on Netflix all day, which number one, I don't think is appropriate for them, but I'm having a really hard time telling my 16-year-old what he can and can't do because he's not doing half the stuff I was doing when I was his age. So praise God. However, I don't want to like make him stumble and not be able to do stuff, but I don't know. Oh, there we go. I don't want to make it so that, he's too sheltered, but NCIS, I mean, all they do is murder somebody in the first 2 minutes of the movie. Then they have to figure out who did it. Then it's the person that you thought in the first 7 minutes that really killed them. But then 10 minutes, they give you or point you in another direction. So you might question yourself. Unless you're of the right mind, you'll stay with your first thought. You already know who did it. They throw like a couple of like maybe a love affair or like a relationship or a job dynamic in the middle of it. And then 47 minutes later, you've just sat there for 47 minutes watching something when you could have been doing something more productive with your life. What that is, I don't know because I just sat here for all this time doing this for whatever reason. But anyway, have a great night. I'm not going to go to sleep because I'm not tired. Oh, wait, let me see if somebody calling me. Oh, it's Penny. What? Hold on. This is one of my best friends. Just FaceTime me. She's in Detroit. I don't know what she's doing, but I have to go because she may not know that she's on the video. So I'm gonna let you guys go. My makeup still doesn't look very natural, but that's because of this bad light. But you get it. You get the drift. That was bad. She's not even answering, so I'll call her back. Oh my God, what is the problem? Why does she FaceTime me and then don't answer the phone? I hate my makeup right now, but whatevs. Not doing anything else, and I'm certainly not going anywhere. So have a great night, people. When I get my eyeliner right,